other things about a little about the healthcare. We do fun shows too. You might have remembered Lakeshore Players we had on about 2 months ago. A fun show, a wonderful show. They are doing a great musical this year. Happy Days. They're doing Happy Days this year. But we got another happy thing that's always been occurring within the same area, about the White Bear Lake area. That's another show that has done plays of, I think, the greatest playwright of all times. And why? It's just a number of years. He keeps being so well-known, successful. So many people do his plays, and that's, of course, William Shakespeare, who was a playwright from the late 1400s into the early 1500s, about 20, 30 years, am I right? About that. He was also a great actor, wasn't he, Tim? We're going to try to get Tim on here, too. That was during the Renaissance, by the way, and he was part of that. He was part of that wonderful creativity, brilliant plays he's done. Last year, I know they did Midsummer Night's Dream, one of my favorite ones. And sometimes they also have a player called Moliere. Is that correct? Do they have Moliere on again this year?
We are doing Moliere's Scapin this year.
The Pan.
Scapin.
Scapin.
Scapin. It's one of the characters' names.
Oh,
and
gotta get into
he's
this.
a servant, and his name is Scapin.
Well, without further ado, let me introduce all our guests. And why don't we start with you? Introduce yourself and where.
I am Emily Haney, and I'm both an actor and a costume designer at Shakespeare Company.
So what play are you in this?
I am in Much Ado About Nothing, which is by William Shakespeare, and I costumed Henry IV, Part 1.
Much to Do About Nothing. You know, that sort of sounds like a modern 60s title, doesn't it? I think they did a movie like that, didn't they? I remember something like that. You know, sort of like a Doris Day movie, you know, or something like that, a comedy kind of thing, you know, Henry Fonda or something like that. But interesting how Shakespeare sort of does titles 500 years in advance. I mean, he was just something else at that time. Right. And you, what's your role?
I'm Jim Belden. I'm an actor with the company.
And what plays are you in this year?
I'm in Much Ado About Nothing and King Henry IV, Part 1.
Oh, we've got a real official sort of English government and higher up kind of play, huh? Mm-hmm. We did King Lear one time, as I recall, in our show. Yeah.
That's a great one.
Oh, yeah, interesting plays. And you?
I'm Rachel. I am the stage manager for Henry IV, Part 1.
Okay, and you?
My name is Justin DeLong, and I am an actor in all 3 shows this season. So I'm in Much Ado, Scapin, and I'm also in Henry IV, Part 1.
Wow. So, well, why don't I start with you again?
All right.
And you said you are in...
I'm in Much Ado About Nothing.
Oh, I thought it was Japan, right? Or you're the... what's that other play?
I'm the costume well, Justin is in Scapin.
Right.
So,
yes.
And then I
Scapin.
Mm-hmm.
I can't... That sounds like a Japanese name. That's a sort of strange name they got there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little bit.
How do you spell it? It's like S...
S-C-A-P-I-N.
C-E-I-P-I-N. Italian? Interesting.
It's Italian or French. There's also an opera called Scapino.
Okay. Well, why don't you tell us about the play, so Moliere's play this year?
All right. Well, Moliere's Scapin is about a servant who plays some tricks on his master, and there's another servant, Sylvester.
That's me.
Sylvester.
And that's
There you
Justin's
go.
role. And
You're the trickster, right?
No, I'm so out of the 2 servants, there's Scapin, who's very tricksome, and there's Sylvester, who's more timid and is kind of the brunt of a lot of jokes and gets beaten a lot. Just gets dragged along for the ride a lot. And they're both trying to help the sons of their masters who've gotten married without their fathers or without their parents knowing.
Interesting situation. So keep going. So then how does it keep going? Again.
Well, that's basically
the
plot of the
story
play. So
without giving too much away.
There's mixed up identities. There's children who were lost at young ages. I was going to say at birth, but not really at birth, but lost at sea, or and so they discover that their parents at the end, and then everything turns out, and everyone's so happy, and that's the end of the play.
Yeah.
So I take it this is sort of like a comedy, right?
Oh, it's very much a comedy.
Oh,
yes,
wow,
it's slapstick.
Yeah. Any music in the play, or?
Well, there is actually in Scapin.
You might get a
trying to keep with that tone of kind of off-kilter slapstick fun. There is a ukulele clarinet duet that kicks off the entire show between me and our co-actor Mel. So I play the ukulele and sing a little duet with Mel while she plays the clarinet.
So they had ukuleles and clarinets in 59.
They had clarinets, but probably not ukuleles.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes
Just
sense.
something fun we added for this show.
Sure, that's cool. Yeah, to add that. Okay, now you seem like a head honcho here, right?
Not at all.
Not at all. Good. Okay, so tell me about Much Ado About Nothing.
All right, so Much Ado About Nothing. It's got
Well,
a lot.
that's it. It's nothing. It's Much Ado About Nothing. So we're done.
Yeah,
right?
that's pretty much it.
Well,
yeah, that's about it. I mean, that's
it's
we'll say
kind.
some other stuff.
I mean, it's kind of like, you know, like you think that there's something, but it's really nothing. You know, there's a lot of like mistaken
like
events.
a serious thing is occurring, and it's just trivial crap. Who cares, right?
Well, it's more like a serious thing. Everyone thinks a serious thing is happening.
Yeah.
And it turns out that it's all just a big prank.
Oh.
So.
Lots of rumors being spread.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
That's sort of interesting. I've never heard of Shakespeare. I don't hear many plays like that. That's really creative. Well, it's Shakespeare. What can you say?
Oh
He
yeah,
does
definitely.
So many things. Yeah. So, I mean, is there a main script of like a romantic kind of thing going on?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah. No, there's several romantic plots going on.
Yeah.
So that definitely is a big driving force of the plot.
Yeah.
In fact, two of probably Shakespeare's most popular love interests are Beatrice and Benedict, and they're sort of the central character, central love story. Well, central love story of Much Ado.
They're the main ones. Okay.
Yes.
And they sort of like get into something serious. It's no big deal. We'll keep going on, or something like that. Or is it?
Well, there's a rumor started about somebody else, and
that
they're
Beatrice
supposed about her cousin, and she's supposed to be getting married, and then at the wedding, this rumor is revealed, and so the groom refuses to marry her. So it's Hero and Claudio shames her in front of everybody.
Super depressing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so
Along the way, there's a lot of really funny stuff that Tim gets to do. Tim plays the.
Oh, you're
the
part
head.
of it? You're in a play, Tim? Oh, okay.
Tim plays the head of the town watch.
Come on and join us. Pull a chair up here. We got to have him in here. Ron, get out here to move the camera a little bit. So we're talking Much Ado About Nothing.
yeah.
And we got Tim over here, so Ron, do some switching here. Well, just move that camera over, and then we're going to.
Hi.
And Ron, and then go back in the set there. There you got him. A little bit more, Ron. A little bit more to your left there. Move the camera a little bit more to your left.
Well, we'll keep you in there.
We have half a Tim in there. He's gonna try to.
We got all three.
No, we don't. We got to move it a little bit more. Tim's cut off to have. See, you got to move it a little bit.
That's the full screen there.
Okay, full screen. Okay, we'll get everybody in here because everybody talking about. That's good. Leave it. Good deal. We got the whole crowd here now. You can't say it's Much Ado About Nothing. We got 6 people on the stage. I'm thrilled with actors on both my sides here. Come on. Okay, Tim. So what's your role in it?
I play Dogberry, who is
Talking to my microphone.
the head of the town watch.
Hold.
Do you want me to just unclip here?
Yep. Unclick it, and then just we're going to take the microphone out. A little disturbance here, but.
Yeah, that works for me.
So he is the town.
Yeah, like the sheriff.
Oh, okay.
Constable.
Okay, sure.
Of
sure.
the town of
Yep.
Messina, where all the action is taking place, and this is a big deal for him.
Was there a murder that was unusual?
The prince is in town.
The what?
The prince.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah.
And so they're all coming back from war, and so it's a big honor. Problem with Dogberry is that he thinks he's a lot more important than he actually is. So it's there's a lot of comedy, and I'm recruiting deputies throughout in the beginning scenes.
Are there like a Barney Fife deputy?
Yep.
There you go. That's a lot of fun. We got to have a Barney Fife guy in here. Hey, I go for that.
Dogberry and Vergis.
Yeah. Okay.
Vergis is like my right hand gal. So she helps me out, and she tries to like take the lead on stuff, but I'm like, no, it's my job.
Much Ado About Nothing. So what? You just get.
Yeah.
So you're sort of an authoritative, sort of a commanding kind of a guy, like a dictator, sort of, or.
In Much Ado?
Yeah.
No, not at all.
He thinks he is.
I think, yeah.
We're trying to get something, but Much Ado not about nothing. I mean, it's just
but
nothing.
he's, everybody's just kind of like, okay, Dogberry, thank you.
Try to hold your mic a little
Yeah.
closer. Okay.
He's,
So, any murders you have to investigate or any crime stuff?
Well, one of the subplots of this rumor that started was that they, in order to draw out the people who started this rumors, that they spread this around that Hero, who was shamed at the wedding, died from her shame.
That's the one that that's the one that didn't marry, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the one where they said that she had an affair, but she didn't.
She really
And he messed the whole marriage up.
Yeah.
So then he died?
No, well, they say she died.
I think she died.
Yeah.
But she didn't.
So that when it's found out that this was just a rumor, then the prince and Claudio, who shamed her, end up feeling really bad about doing that. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of how that whole thing moves around to resolution. And then at the end of the play, it's revealed, that the Leonata, who is Hero's mother, says, "Well, my daughter's dead, but you can marry my sister's daughter," and Emily plays her sister. So then they bring out all of these brides and veils, and then they reveal that it's Hero. It's actually Hero, and one of is it Claudio's line is, "It's Hero that was dead. Now she's alive."
This is sort of a complicated mixture of I don't know what kind of play it's. Well, Midsummer Night's Dream was sort of only 4 people, but it's somehow I remember some plays where this person and that everything else interwoven.
Usually a lot of
there's
subplots.
a lot of
a lot of subplots
feelings
going
people
on
have with each other too.
Yeah.
So it's also a deep play in a sense because it deals.
It's a comedy if people get married in the end, or if everybody dies in the end, then it's a tragedy. That's usually
that's
a good rule of thumb.
Yeah. Well, I normally like Shakespeare comedies, but he does all great plays.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway. Do you like, a lot of people say he's one of the greatest playwrights. Do you agree with that?
I would agree, yeah.
Why?
His language.
Well, the wording, he really puts the words
that
together
he uses, has obviously survived as long as it has, and for actors to be able to interpret and use as a tool, the way the structure in which he wrote really aids an actor in being able to access emotionally a lot of things.
It challenges them, you're saying.
You don't find in modern writing a lot.
Yeah, it challenges them, and then they actually reach inside, and it's a good training, actually, you're saying.
Yeah,
for actors.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's something that's really timeless about so many of his plays.
He's very relatable.
Yeah.
And I think it helps that he was lower class himself. He wasn't some big aristocrat looking down on everyone.
Yeah.
And that still rings true with people today.
Yep.
True.
That's what I heard the most when Stu was here, and a lot of people were here, that he's very real, brings out the emotions of people so well, and it's very understandable, And Stu was here a lot of times, and then I think George there once or twice. George Wade was the first person. I don't know if you know him, but he was way back he started it, and George Rushler started it, right? Which is still around. But they're talking about how he can brilliantly, like you said, of a common average person, bring this out, but then he has his brilliance of putting the words together and good plots. The whole works. He just now he's a great actor too, wasn't he? He was an actor too.
He
also.
did some acting, yeah. Not as much as some of his other contemporaries. But
George Wade said that he acted for about 20 years, and don't tell me you couldn't act. You can't act for 20 years without being a good actor. You're not going to survive, Yeah. So he was a very interesting person in many ways. So Much Ado. Now, who knows the other play, the King?
Henry IV,
Okay.
part 1.
Who's the expert in that one?
Well, actually, we're all involved in
We're
that.
all
Yeah, that's the only one
involved.
we're all involved in. So.
Okay. Are you the main? Are you the main actor in it, or what?
No. I'm a supporting
He's
role.
one of the main actors in it, though.
I suppose, yeah.
Back to Tim again.
I'm playing Falstaff in that. I almost said Merry Wives.
Same character, different
Falstaff is a character that appears in both parts of Henry IV. Is referenced in Henry V.
Okay.
And then Queen Elizabeth loved the character of Falstaff so much she said write me another play with Falstaff in it. So Shakespeare wrote The Merry Wives of Windsor.
Wow.
Yeah.
So as Falstaff, the character you're playing, is he sort of like the sidekick of the king? Or
That's a great question. I bet you would get a different answer depending on if you asked Falstaff or Hal, Prince Henry, that question. Who is whose sidekick?
Yes.
But yeah, we're kind of the main foils to each other. You know, the character of Falstaff is the one that kind of, you know, wants to get Hal into trouble and, you know, steal from people and do all of these unprincely things.
He's a lot of politics to eventually go to his advantage, he figures somehow.
Well, yeah, and that's really what Falstaff thinks. He's got it made now. He's best pals with the prince. So when the prince becomes king, he's got it made.
He would be next in line looking for his.
Yeah. Sadly, it doesn't quite go that way for Falstaff. Sorry, spoiler alert. Yeah. Spoiler alert.
The conniver planner didn't work out. The bad guy lost, in other words, right? Sort of being the.
Yeah, I mean, he's not. He's really not a bad guy.
Yeah, but he's just not doing the things he should.
He's self-serving. I mean, he's very much looking out for Falstaff.
Now, who do you play in?
Well, I'm the costume designer, and this is
self-servant, but obviously she doesn't. She doesn't agree with you. She's sort of a.
Well, no, I think Falstaff.
No, I would agree with that.
He's certainly one of the more interesting characters that Shakespeare ever came up with. Yeah. You know, he's one of the few really truly that he invented. Okay. Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, there's some basis in history for Falstaff with Sir John Oldcastle, but in the history plays, Falstaff is probably one of the most fictional characters in a history.
Yeah, because most of them are based on real people at that era.
The prince, what was his name? I'm sorry.
Henry, Prince Henry, or Hal.
Now, was he real?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, he became Henry V.
A fictional thing.
Yeah.
Oh, he was what, the son of Henry?
Son of Henry IV.
Henry IV. Okay. Ron, give us a time. Come out and tell us how much time we have left, okay? So Henry IV and Henry. There was a lot of. I know of Henry VIII. There's a lot of Henry. 13 minutes. Okay. There's a lot of Henrys.
There are. It's a very popular name.
About what time period was this? When he was 1400?
Boy, oh boy.
Yeah, it was
in the
Henry. Yeah, it was late. No, it was 1400s.
It was the 1400s.
I would say early
1400s.
Henry,
I think the
15, 1600.
No,
Agincourt was like 14,
Henry VIII?
13.
Henry VIII was late 1400s.
And he was early 1400s.
And Henry IV was early 1400s.
Yeah.
Costume design. You got to tell us about these costumes. Ron, could you come out here and get a close-up, please? We're going to get a close-up. These wonderful costumes. I mean, I got to show us about the set. So very interesting. And go on that camera, please. Switch to that camera. You know, this is one thing that Shakespeare does. Lakeshore does it too. They have these wonderful, colorful costumes of the period of times. I've been to Shakespeare play. We got to talk about the play.
Emily's also a costumer at
I have costume shows at Lakeshore Play.
Wow, you do Lakeshore too. Cool. We got two people here. Okay, now that's got to be the prince. Am I right?
This is worn by Prince Hal.
Okay.
There's a battle scene at the end of Henry IV Part 1.
Oh.
And so that's why we have the swords, and one of the actors wears this large leather helm, and then. But this was the.
Go back to this. Okay.
This was the emblem.
Is this it?
Yes. The design on this tabard.
That's
the whole design. All the four squares, the four fields with the fleur-de-lis and the lions, was originally worn by Henry IV. He was the first of the English kings to wear this design. It's best known for Henry V as his emblem.
Now, what does this mean? Is this like an emblem?
Fleur-de-lis. Well, the fleur-de-lis is actually the French emblem.
Oh.
And because of the connections between the French court and the English court because of marriages.
Weren't they fighting?
They were not at this point.
Oh, okay. So they're on friendly terms here.
They're on friendly terms, but there were French. There was a marriage between the French family and the British ruling family.
That's a French influence.
And so that's where Henry IV. So he incorporated both the British lion, the English lion, and the French fleur-de-lis into his emblem. That's a chainmail sleeve.
This is for fighting, right?
That is for fighting.
The mesh there, in case someone hits your arm, it protects your arm, sort of.
Yeah, and part of our design with Henry IV Part 1 is that it's a little more distressed and dirty And there is chainmail that's used on different, it's not full chainmail, but people have chainmail pieces.
Let's go pretty place, this blue area here I'm looking at. And what is this about?
This one is from Scapin.
Okay.
And that's, it's a French play, so there's a lot more lace.
Focus it better around,
and
we're going to focus on
that
here.
one is set probably, I would say, the 1600s.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's more restoration. It's not quite Georgian yet, so it's more Cavalier Restoration era. Think Charles II in England, or it would have been one of the Louis.
That was the time of the Ming Dynasty in China, and they were great for producing silk and selling silk throughout the world.
And as silk was coming to the West, but also France, there were several cities in France that became very good at developing fabrics as well. And then this, the feather boa and the little red satin shrug, that is from Much Ado About Nothing.
Ah, boy, that's a pretty thing for Much Ado About Nothing.
And that one we have changed, we've modernized it to 1940s.
Okay.
So it's World War II is the war that's being referenced in Much Ado About Nothing. So those costumes are a little more modern. It's the American Army, U.S. Army uniforms.
And moved it from Messina, Italy to Messina, New York.
Oh,
New York.
yeah. Well, Tim's a head honcho here, and a head honcho, of course, he has to have some authority. He's got a skull with him right by here, so he's just telling us we better be our good behavior, otherwise we'd be in a problem. So focus in on the skull, Ron, please. And right down here, no, over there. There we go. No, there we go. And what does this mean, Tim? What's the purpose of it?
Go ahead. I can explain that one. This is actually a prop from Scapin. At one point, the actor who plays Scapin is lowered into a trap in the bottom of the stage. So there's a little a cupboard built into the bottom of the stage. So he's forced to go down into this like he's being locked in a cellar. And when his master lets him out, he comes up and he just pops up this skull.
Interesting.
And asks, what is this? Yeah. That's your predecessor. So cool. Tell us about the stage, Tim. I've been there before. A lot of people don't know about it.
Yeah, well, it was originally put together by members of the company,
right.
Starting with the second year.
Yep.
Started out as just a platform, and they had some backing flats. Then over the years, they built it up and built more on it. And when I started with the company in '89, it was kind of in its final shape. But then I believe it was in 2005.
2005.
Yeah, 2004, 2005. It had gotten to the point where it needed to be replaced.
And then it's all wood, by the way.
Yep. They raised it and built a new stage. Same dimensions and everything.
Right down the website. I mentioned this at the end of the show to get all the information because we don't have much time to talk about this. Yep. But quickly, just in case that is interesting, can they still bring food there and eat their food and everything?
Absolutely. You can come out as early as you want and bring your picnic supper and bring your lawn chairs or a blanket. And come out and enjoy some Shakespeare, some Moliere, and eat some fried chicken.
And I understand that's how it used to be with the Globe Theater with Shakespeare. That's how it used to be 500 years ago. They just were very informal.
Sold a lot of food. Yep, they used to have a lot of people just eating.
How much time we got, Ron? 6 minutes. Well, let's get all these things in here. Now, could you go back on the close-up camera, Ron? Because it's so interesting about these, and then we're going to get into just some interesting insights all these people have about these three plays that are occurring right in there. Now, what's the meaning of this? This, gosh, looks like Halloween. I don't think they had Halloween that time, did they? No. And this is?
That's from Much Ado.
Much Ado, okay.
So that is a mask that's used during a party scene in Much Ado About Nothing. One thing that the director wanted to do was really play up the mistaken identity and a lot of the more hidden aspects, secret aspects. So everyone on stage during this party scene near the beginning of the play is wearing a mask similar to that.
Party. So in Much Ado, a lot of fun scenes, or light scenes, and
lots of scenes, lots of costumes.
Here's another mask. Now this looks like this guy's ready for war. You better watch out for this guy, right? And what is it?
Yep, that's a leather helm. It is based on probably more of a Nordic or Northern European design, and that would be part of their armor that they would wear when they go to battle.
So naturally. Okay, we got all that in. Well, sir, now tell me your role you are in Much Ado About Nothing, right?
Yes.
And what exactly do you do?
So my role in Much Ado About Nothing is Conrad. So I'm basically a servant for Don John, and she's the character who is behind the rumors going around and the prank about the affair that leads Claudio to not want to marry Hero. But Conrad...
Ron, could you come back? I'm sorry. You me again.
Conrad, my character, gets implied in the whole thing even though he wasn't really involved, just because he's with them most of the time.
He was sort of a straightforward guy, but you got to watch him, you know. He's sort of a... He looks straightforward, doesn't he? But he can be a little deceivious, sort of planning, you know, a smart guy, what's going on. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah.
Because of that, getting implied in that, I get to get arrested by the watch that we mentioned before. So those scenes are...
Would you ever use a sword that our constable is holding? No, Ron, holding on a sword now.
Yeah,
this is very vocal here. So the sword, what's the sword about?
Well, this is not the sword that I use in Henry IV, but I do get to use the sword. I never actually hit anybody with it. I just kind of it fall down.
That's implied. Any sword fights in the play at all?
Oh, lots.
Oh boy, we should have gotten a sword.
Many. Yeah.
And there's another small sword over here.
Yep.
So you guys are. Does anybody
Jim's
get hurt
got
in
that
sword
one.
fights?
What's that?
Anybody get hurt?
Lots, yeah.
There you go.
Like
Watch this guy here.
actuality,
I want to have a little fun here. Here we
Take
go.
it.
Now, finally, they'll pay attention to me, right? We hope. That's it. That's fun to see those.
Yeah.
That's real, by the way. I mean,
those are both real.
These are these are
good
used
balance.
in the show.
Okay. Now, Ron, why don't you get back there? We're going to have to close out the show, but we got a few minutes to go, right? Okay. Now, while we're here, you must like Shakespeare. What do you like doing in the play you're in? What do you like?
Oh, like what do I like about
right.
the play itself?
Yes.
I think that for me personally, the plays Shakespeare Company, it's been a hugely different experience than other theater I've done because it's outdoors.
Yes.
And there's more than one show going on at once.
Yep.
So it's just, I've seen the whole thing as a really cool, unique experience. I'm getting a lot of value from that. So.
Very open. By the way, a lot of times when I'm going on audiences there, you see the actors right by you, ready to go on stage. And I talk with the actors, stuff like, hey, I want a hot dog. No. Sometimes I do, but they don't do it. But yeah, I mean, it's very casual, the whole experience, you know. And now, what do you like about this? Except for the wonderful designs, other than that.
Well, actually, for me, in particular, I get the opportunity to be on stage and to design costumes for the other actors in one of the other shows. So I get to have the best of both worlds.
So again, what play are you?
So I play Antonia in Much Ado About Nothing. I'm one of there's kind of the two matriarchs of the household. I'm Hero's aunt.
Okay.
And so when she's supposedly dead, it's my daughter that is going to marry Claudio, and it's really Hero. So I get to pretend to be her mother, and I get to threaten Claudio with knitting needles and.
Yeah, interesting. Little fun stuff
my
going on.
My own little sword play.
But it's nothing serious because it's Much Ado About Nothing, right? Nobody gets hurt.
Nobody actually gets.
It's Much Ado About Nothing, right?
Right.
And you?
For me, I have grown up at Shakespeare Company.
Oh, really?
Both of my parents, Emily and then my father, Jeff, have worked out there since before I was born.
Is this the first play you've been in, or have you been in other plays?
I've been working out there for a couple of years.
Oh, okay. Cool.
I actually got my first experience on stage.
We'll try to get 1 minute? Half a minute. Quickly, what do you like about
really quickly, my favorite thing about Shakespeare Company is the overwhelming sense of community you get, both being in the company and when you're at a performance.
And the play you're in, why do you like that?
I think all three of them have given me a lot of stuff to work with and grow as an actor. So,
Tim, you got about 15, 20 seconds.
Well,
how long have you been there? You've been 20 years.
This is my 19th season. Yeah, this is my 19th
19th season.
Yep, so
wow.
next.
10 seconds.
Okay.
10 seconds, Jim.
I love the people. I love Shakespeare, and I love the community.
And you'll love going to look right down this website here. You get all the information. And great play. Next 3 weekends it's occurring. Have a great time. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
There's
right
that
there.
actually. Hey, thank you very much for watching. We appreciate it very much. Thank you. And thanks a lot. Bye. I think that's it. We good? Hey, that was fun.